farm, deny him CS, deny him experience, get ahead and control the mid game extremely well with the wave clear that Rise is going to have, the realm warps. It's a pretty self-explanatory draft here for FREDIT BRION, but that's the kind of drafting you want to see from a team that's 1-10. Doesn't need to be complicated. You don't want it to be complicated. We've seen Guma and Keria dominate with the very same 80 carry into Tom Kench. Like, we saw this from Guma in 2 games, 2 iterations basically of the same game last week, where Guma just popped off and got a triple kill. The dive potential for this composition here for FREDIT BRION is so strong, but they have to...
Different. Let's hop onto the rift here for game number 1. And off we go onto the rift. I just want to say I love the energy from both the global fans and also the Korean fans for supporting FREDIT BRION. There was a sign in the audience before we switched over to the game that was just like, let's have a positive mind. You know, let's go into this positively. And that's really the energy that you love to see. And speaking of which, level 1 here for Mumu is very good. It's very strong. They're going to get the flash out of Keria and the exhaust just in trade for the Ignite from Delight.
This is something that we've seen really popularized by Vista, but it's very strong right now with the Amumu, where you flash early for a attempt to either force flash cleanse at the 80 carry or the Tom Kench is at this stage very defenseless. He doesn't, of course, need to commit the flash in this case because he's able to just walk up and Ignite. And also Hex Flash is disabled. Just another minor note. We'll let you guys know when that
You'll notice it right there that he has taken the stopwatch instead.
Yeah. So once we do have that one back, you guys will know. But still, even without it, very popular start here on blue side to look for summoners. He's not able to get the 4 that Vista did when he had tried this last time around, but still, really nice start for him.
And this is the kind of thing you have to do as cleanse immediately. As, you know, second bandage toss available, doesn't even have to use it. Just going to hold on to that for the next opportunity because he already got value. And this is the kind of thing that you have to do. On the Raptors, they have a ward right here. So they know that Umti is going to want to play this kind of style. It is no secret. Owner is right here, clearing from top to bottom, as you should. And FREDIT BRION, they're not going to overcommit. They actually do clear this ward out, and they're just going to say, let's go ahead and try to steal a blue. You know, piece by piece, little by little. As the smite could come in here, and it will actually be stolen. As Umti not able to get that smite down.
Still pulling Owner here early on in the game, and he paths well, defends his blue buff, and so will take a significant lead as a result for a moment. Is going to go ahead and go top side here for the scuttle. And now that level 3 is reached here for Keria, can defend Guma a lot better here on this.
Some danger. Umti right now is staying outside of vision as Sindao should be around. There he is. Delight goes in first. A lot of damage comes out, and first blood goes to T1. 0 follow-up from FREDIT BRION. The timing and the communication just not there.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. The early game can be so strong for T1 if Guma gets a kill.
Okay, we're just going back in. Keria's getting pretty low. That should be a kill on the Tom Kench, and there it is. Renzek comes in, and a flash out of Owner is forced as well.
Still think this favors T1 overall because Lava is going to lose a lot of minions in mid here. Will find himself falling behind here. Faker could just teleport straight back to lane. Lava already used his teleport, is actually going to now steal some of the CS away from Henna here on the bottom side to try to push that through. He will hit 6 here very soon, and they could try to set up for a follow-up dive. They could just roam warp over the turret and stop Guma from coming in, but this comes at the cost of the mid lane, so they're not going to commit to that. He doesn't hit 6 here.
Happen down on the bottom side. And speaking of which, there's not a lot of vision here, as actually that will miss. And Umti's only level 4, as, yep, just going to steadfast presence and get out of there. That is one thing that Poppy can do, but we're looking for a fight here as Lava is going to be forced to flash. Faker also rooted down. They want to go for this fight here, 4v4, but Lava's being isolated on the left side. He gets so low, and he gets out, though, as the trade goes on to Guma. Umti is so low as well, but he's totally fine. And look at the Kalista. Henna's just jumping around here, stunned into the wall. Another kill goes the way of FREDIT BRION as Faker gets a bit close to the sun, but he is AZIR and has flash still, as Umti somehow still level 4.
Yeah. So this time, the trade definitely favors FREDIT BRION. But I think the idea here is, okay, is Curry going to actually steal this? I don't think so. Yes, he does.
Wow.
Yes, he does. Is that top catch, or is that the best Yoshi, you know, in the world, man? Just yoinks it.
Look at Zeus here. He did not have to use his needles at all. Whereas Morgan went through his entire iteration of the entire Meganar, you know, cycle. And Zeus is still just zoning him here, as now the needles come out, as Morgan does get a little bit feisty.
Doesn't hit a big one. The damage of the Callista is way better at this stage in the game, and, you know, Henna is basically able to do the maximum amount a Callista is looking for in that extended fight. So T1 do end up losing out. Now Faker pushed away with a really nicely timed Mumu bandage toss. Will give Lava that plate was suggesting before. He's going to even take these Raptors away, and they should have full control over this Rift Herald fight. Faker has his Emperor's Divide back up here. And I mean, in this small skirmish here without the Aphelios, just don't think this favors T1. They could try to look for a steal.
Yeah, they are coming over here. No needles just yet for Zeus, but very, very close, as the Rift Herald will go down. Collected by and they essentially just take it away, as everybody was rotating top except Guma.
And look at what the rest of FREDIT BRION are doing at the same time. This is a really great tempo advantage they have with the Herald. They're trying to group up here and force owner's attention bottom side here, pulling Aphelios out of the lane. And this means that Morgan can, at this stage of the lane, continue to put pressure on. We'll force that teleport you were talking about, and we'll probably grab an additional plate here. We see so much demolish on Nar as a result in this meta. It's falling off a little bit these days, but if you were given even a second of extra space here, as soon as you grab a plate, it's going to take this back.
Somebody, if they make a mistake, if they step out of line, as I'm
Owner is here this time.
A Meganar, though. Looks like they're waiting as the Meganar is popped here, but they don't seem to care as the red buff comes in, and the needles, maybe one more will come in as Owner flies in from miles away with the flash.
But this is what happens when the jungler goes topside. So, again, this is exactly how this composition should be played out here for FREDIT BRION. You pull Owner topside, and yes, we'll get some plate gold here, but Henna's getting value bottom side. You know, again, still favoring the game state here for T1, especially as plates fall down. They're not going to be able to get any more value there for Henna, unfortunately. But, you know, I feel like despite T1 now also getting a value here in mid, I think FREDIT BRION have played a great start with this composition.
T is coming on down, but he's just going to helicopter someone out, as Keria does get a little bit isolated. Will have to flash there, but it's an entire mid and tier 1 and top taken. So this is the classic T1 thing where it looks like, oh, the opposing team is going to get something, but then T1 find a way to macro out leads elsewhere on the map. And yes,
to fight.
It's all about that second Herald nowadays. Shirley has taken rank 1 over Shelly, and it looks like FREDIT BRION very slow to actually move into this one. Still looks like they do not want to fight over it. They want to get mid priority, but T1 are going to get this very fast. Let's see if they they are going to move in, as Zeus is leading the charge here, and a bit of damage onto that turret, but in comes the Moonlight Vigil. Delight just has to get Fates called back. Zeus does take a bunch of damage here in the front, as Owner now goes in, pressing guard just to try to zone them away and retake control of the mid lane.
Zeus backing right now isn't here, so with the next wave, perhaps with the wave clear that FREDIT BRION have, they might just be able to force this one down. But very measured and very scary there for FREDIT BRION if they heavily commit. That's why they backed away at the last possible second, because Emperor's Divide is one of the best turning tools, and because Baker went for Ludens, even his Sand Soldier's actually doing so much damage at the beginning of that fight. As Morgan
stepped up a bit close as Baker flashes in. Is here. He's trying to get in position, gonna knock the Xin Zhao into the wall, as will save his friend's life. Position here. And they do have the Rift Herald, which is going to pull somebody down to deal with Zeus, as they're trying to get on top of Faker, who is isolated in the mid lane, does not have flash, and he gets taken down.
That's half of your damage gone now, and basically all of your engaged. Faker has teleport, but he's not up for 30 here, and that Drake spawns in 5. You won't have Emperor's Divide. Now, they're going to try to push this bottom lane, but this Drake is way more significant here. Yeah, this is now so much pressure on Guma. Does have flash and cleanse here. But look at FREDIT BRION controlling the choke point now. The flank is coming through here from Zeus.
This should be FREDIT BRION's Drake. There should not be a question about it as Guma is going to back away. The teleport is coming in as Realm Warp as well flashes away from T1. The Crescent Guard as Owner has to flash too. Keep in mind that whole point was taken. Carrius back here with Zeus. They want to try to turn this as the teleport from T1 is coming in. The Curse of the Sad Mummy is going to catch two of them. Zeus is standing alone, 1v5 essentially, eventually gets devoured. As T1 are just kiting this out for ages.
So much damage on this AZIR, doesn't have ult yet.
Yeah, he does stack up so many of those soldiers. Now, Moonlight Vigil comes out, forces some flashes, lots of low health bars as T1. The Forever Kite might just work as the Gore Drinker's big. The Henna might be bigger, but the exhaust is huge. They are going to take down that Callista, and it does look like T1 will eventually cash out here as Faker just going to run it out, avoid all of that Rise damage, and T1 get a bunch of kills on the backside of the fight.
Okay, Baron group up here for T1, but you do not have the control to be starting this one. They will be seen and pushed away.
Yeah, they're kind of leaving Guma and Owner out to dry. I mean, this is in Pelios with no flash, and Carrier just gets out of there. He's like, nope, see you guys later. He's going to use his Devour onto Zeus, who gets incredibly low. Faker tries to make a play, but I mean, he's getting pretty low on that backline, and nobody's dying here on the side of FREDIT BRION. Look at the health bars. It doesn't matter as 4 members at T1 go down. And FREDIT BRION now are going to take the Baron.
I think FREDIT are now in full control of this game. It was still on a knife's edge after, yeah, Soul Point traded for team fight win, technically speaking, for T1, but T1 get greedy, start to group for a Baron. And it's crazy that one of the only teams that stops a T1 Baron group is FREDIT BRION.
Yeah,
Here. I love this game from them. They're like, no, you think you can just cross-map us? Not without a minion wave.
I wish we saw that last highlight as well from like 3 or 4 seconds earlier, because it would have really highlighted just Keria saying, nope, I'm getting out of here, and not saving Guma. FREDIT BRION's comp can engage from screens away.
Yeah.
And now
Rise is getting an inhibitor.
Yeah, I mean, T1, they might be able to fight over this one because Rise is getting the inhibitor.
He does not have his teleport active right now, is on exhaust.
Realm Warp available as see you later, Faker, and now we're going to trade mid laners as that is going to be Owner stealing the Drake, but what about this fight as it is 5v4 and a massive Curse of the Sad Mummy comes in. The follow-up a little bit lackluster here from FREDIT BRION, looking to bounce some of that damage as Umpty, he is
wants
Poppy.
To lock the door, but yeah, he doesn't have his ult.
Yeah, he's okay. They're going to teleport to the bot side, actually, and this is a massive wave, so should absolutely at least be this inhibitor as T1 have to wrap all the way around.
They can't stop any backs, so there's no way Morgan can grab anything more, though, than the inhibitor. So really nice defensive back off there from T1.
I feel like that's actually a big win for T1. Mostly fine that the inhibitor is down. Yes, it is going to be some pressure. But you can use that to just get your Gwen even more fed. The Narc can't
look at
really
her
1v1. Yeah, he's just going to push that. So he's not really losing much. He's actually getting more golds there. Now, FREDIT BRION are doing a good job pushing this top side, but you just look at the timing of the inhibitor and the Baron. Yes, there is going to be about a minute 20 in between the inhibitor respawning and the Baron spawning here. But who's going to deal with Zeus? I think Morgan's going to try, as the rest of his team is coming in, and actually the Megadar is pretty huge.
What?
He actually just got bodied.
He had stopwatch as well. Like, he could have played that one out, I think, a little bit more safely, but...
Well, line, they're ready to collapse and clap them. And speaking of which, Owner, getting kind of close to the sun, but it is just Umpty there. If that was Delight, could have been a little bit more difficult for Xin Zhao.
The longer this goes on, the better for FREDIT BRION for taking this Baron than getting the Soul, because Faker just teleported in, doesn't have that anymore. Someone has to defend. It's going to Zeus. He has TP, but there's no time.
Later. And that's the power of Poppy. See you later, enemy jungler.
This is why we saw the Morgana as a counter, you know, and I mean, one of many reasons, but now it's Baron plus Soul, and Zeus dealt with the wave temporarily here. The inhibitor spawning in 30, but you just have to Hail Mary fight this T1. You're going to have to hope for the best. If you can't win this fight, I think the game is theirs.
They're giving it up. There's not much they can do. There's a wave collapsing on top. The inhibitor's still down, actually being much bigger of a problem than I even expected here.
To stay alive here. Yes, Zeus' death on the bottom side really hurt things for them, and now it's Soul So things are even worse than they've ever been. But T1 is still in this game, and all they need is one team fight right before Elder, and they could flip it on its head. But it's the FREDIT BRION Elder flip angle. So as a meme, it has been very good for them. Oh, yeah, that's so much control of the game right now. Still 80 seconds on Baron.
And Morgan is just owning it, as maybe he went a little bit deep. No, he's totally fine. He's very fast in that mini Gnar, and he is just kiting it out perfectly, doing a fantastic job. And every single lane is being pushed. Top, mid, bot. Morgan hits Mega Gnar. Owner's like, well, I got to try to do something. We can't just sit here and lose everything. As he comes in and will defend it for now.
And this is why I said I think T1 have to go for a Hail Mary, because otherwise they just lose their whole base to this push. And, you know, they just kind of sat back, waited, hoping for a mistake that FREDIT BRION has not given them. That's one inhibitor down. Lava's rotating over. We're looking for two.
Okay, that is massive. Aphelios damage does come in. A lot of low health bars. Zeus is considering going in. The needles are big. No steadfast presence is now Umpty. Being isolated, but they just back away and look at the base.
Look at Lava. He's pushing it. Morgan's got that second inhibitor down. And Lava's got Realm Warp. He can just get out of here.
Delight flashes in, and Carrion, everybody is just going super low here. They're just getting isolated by Umpty and Henna. As Morgan gets low, but he already did his job. Look at the base. Everything's going down.
This has been such a beautiful macro game from FREDIT BRION against T1. Unbelievable.
Henna going forward. He's got a stopwatch. He knows he's totally fine. Carry a last-ditch effort, but FREDIT BRION are gonna dunk on T1 here in game number 1 and take down this Nexus with the 1-0.
And everything about T1's composition was stock